market structure. Okay, so I'll not tell you. Understand? We have monopoly. Now, market structure again has to do with the characteristics of markets. Once you produce a good, you take it to market. Now, we've defined market already. So now, when you take it, in fact, before you take it, in fact, before production, you must be able to know the market you are going to be in, the market your good is going to be sold in. Because each market is a type. In other words, it is unique. It has characteristics. And those characteristics or assumptions are what makes a market unique. You have monopoly, it has unique characteristics. It's just like children in a family. Every child would have some specific things that are that child displays that may be totally different from the next child and the next one. So characteristics or assumptions have to be known. You have to master them. Okay? This is just a beginning. Once you master them, when you get to 200 level, we'll add some things that will sharpen up your skills with respect to identifying the type of market. So monopoly is a type of market because it has its own characteristics. Then duopoly has its own characteristics. Then we say triopoly is not too common. It has its own characteristics. Then we have oligopoly. It has its own characteristics. You have monopolistic competition. It has its own characteristics. Then pure competition, rather perfect competition, has its own characteristics. Now, the difference between pure competition and perfect competition is very tiny, very slim. So pure and perfect generally are grouped together, although there is one assumption that differentiates between the two. Now, you have to know, I've given you that assignment, go to perfect competition, Google it, just say assumptions, perfect competition, write them down, know them, don't just memorize them, know them, be able to discuss them. Then you go to monopolistic competition, write them down, memorize them, know them, be able to discuss them. Then you go to oligopoly, then down to monopoly. Now, you may have two different markets, which must be able to compare one market structure with another. And then you may be able to say, this characteristic in this market helps the buyer, the consumer, or it does not help the consumer. In other words, for example, in perfect competition, if you are a consumer, you are buying a good in a perfectly competitive environment, then you know, because you know the information is available to you, that's an assumption. In real life, it may not hold all the time. But you have so much information that nobody can cheat you. Perfectly competitive environment. I buy a pen, for example, for 10 naira with the assurance that it is 10 naira everywhere in that market. Now, this may not hold in another environment, because in another market environment, in another market structure. I don't call it structure, we call it environment, because of the characteristic of that market, because of the nature of that market. Okay, so once you have characteristics or assumptions of a market, look at them. You are at the university now, you have to start thinking. Look at them. What can I say about this characteristic? How does it profit the buyer or consumer? How does it profit the seller? For example, in a monopoly, it is assumed that only one person, one firm is producing and selling. So that tells me that if the firm decides to raise the price of a good, and I don't have a substitute, an alternative, then I'm forced to buy. That means the firm owners or the firm can decide to cheat me simply because they're the only producer of that good. You must be able to reason. Economics is practical. It's not just reading and writing and memorizing. No, these things are practical. Okay. You have a monopoly. In this case, we assume it is the only firm producing the good. If it raises price, I am impotent. There's nothing I can do about it. Either I buy it or I don't buy it. And that's not too good. Okay? I don't have an alternative or a near substitute. I don't have a good close to that. And that means I can always be exploited. So these are the things we want from 100 level students. We want you to start reasoning like this, not just reading and then reproducing. Start reasoning. So you have monopoly, go to oligopoly now. Look at the assumptions or the characteristics. Try to think around them. Okay? Then you go to monopolistic competition. What's the definition? What are the characteristics? How do the characteristics in a monopolistic competitive market compare with those in oligopoly or in an oligopoly? Compare with a market under monopoly? Or how does that compare with market under monopoly? Okay. So then you go to perfect competition. We talked about that. Now, just look at the diagrams. If what I dictated or what I said you should do online was not understood, just Google perfect competition, go to diagrams, just see, watch. In the short run, in the long run, just watch the diagrams and then remember what I said, and then read what he said, and then put two and two together. Okay? So,
I just married.
now you've started disturbing the class again. Some of you have forgotten you have to unmute when you are discussing with your friends. Okay, and that's not helpful. All right. Now I'm going to give you some things here. You have to be very careful, attentive, write them down, the data, and then I'll give you time to plot those graphs that are very simple. And then I'm going to ask you questions on them. We're going to do that now. So take your pencil or your pen, take a sheet of paper. Now, you have to have a large sheet of paper that allows for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. So I'm going to give you the first set of data that will be placed in under 6 columns. So you write output per day. That's the first column. Output per day. Now, the next column would be total fixed cost. Total fixed cost. The next column, total variable cost. The next column, average variable cost. That's AVC, average variable cost. AVC for short. The next column, average total cost. Average total cost. The next column, marginal cost. Marginal cost. So you have, again, first column, output per day. We call that Q, or quantity, output. Under output per day, you write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is from top down. Under output per day of Q, write 1, then the next line 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then under total fixed cost, we also call that TFC. TFC. Total fixed cost. You have 100 against 1. That's when output is 1. TFC is 100. Of course, because it's a fixed cost, we'll run down the column. So when output is 1, TFC is 100. When output is 2, TFC is 100. When output is 3, TFC is 100. When output is 9, TFC is 100. So there should be 100 in that column from top to bottom because the costs are fixed, or the cost is fixed, whichever. Then under total variable costs. Variable costs are costs which vary as output varies, as Q varies, TVC varies. Okay, so when output is 1, TVC is 20.25. 20.25. Then under that, you write 33.00. 33.00. Under that, you write 41.25. 41.25. Under that, you have 48.00. 48.00. Under that, you have 56.25. 56.25. Under that, you have 69.00. 69.00. Under that, you have 89.25. 89.25. Under that, you have 120. 120.00. 120.00. Under that, you have 164.25. 164.25. Now, given this, you are required to fill in the AVC column, fill in the ATC column, find the marginal cost. So you fill the marginal cost column, you fill the ATC cost column, you fill the AVC cost column. Now, once you fill them, you'll have to plot those diagrams as best as you can, so you can see the relationship between the cost curves. That is average variable AVC, ATC, and MC. Now, once you've done that, you must be able to investigate them. That is, are they U-shaped? Are they not U-shaped? Does MC cut AC from below and at the lowest point? You have to check all these things that theory has taught you. Try to figure out whether we can find them in practice. Okay, so now that's the first set of columns. Now you have another. Yes. Do you have any question to ask? Is there any question you want to ask?
Yes, sir. Sir, please can you come again in TVC?
Now, you have to be very attentive. Okay? Now, I'll take it all over again. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns in all. Now, the first column is output or sales per day or Q, quantity. Under that, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That 9 may stand for 9 units, may stand for 90 units, may stand for 900 units, may stand for 9 million units. So don't take that 9 for granted. It could be 90, it could be 9 million, it could be 900 million, it could be anything. But you want to scale it down. That's why generally you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then on that total fixed cost, TFC for short, you have 100 in there, and the other spaces were blank. You would have to fill them yourself, knowing what a fixed cost is. A fixed cost is a cost which is fixed, which doesn't change. When output increases, fixed cost remains the same. When output decreases, fixed cost remains the same. We've talked about this in class. Now it's a practice. It's when you practice, you really see these things and do not need to memorize them. It becomes part of you. That's why I've chosen today to do this. If we had had physical classes, we should have had more exercises. Now, so 100, if I tell you fixed cost is 100, I don't need to repeat myself. You just fill the gap, 100, 100 from top to bottom. Now, TVC, total variable cost. Total variable cost is the total of all the costs which change or vary as output varies. In other words, if you want to produce more bread, for example, you will need more flour. You will need more oil. If I need 100 loaves of bread, I need maybe 20 kilograms of flour. If I need 50 loaves of the same type of bread, same, what do you call that? Same size, then I'll not need as many kilograms of flour as I needed when I needed to produce 100 loaves. So flour, for example, the cost of flour falls under variable cost. Oil, same thing. Electricity or whatever means of energy you are using to prepare the bread or whatever, If you are using firewood, you have ovens like that. Then you need more firewood if you need to produce more bread than when you need to produce less bread, okay? So now that's just an example. Under TVC, you have 20.25, then 33.00, then 41.25, then 48.00, then 56.25, then 69.00, then 89.25, then 120.00, then 164.25. Again, total variable cost being put together. So total cost is total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Okay, so we look at all the costs. This one is fixed, we put it this way. This one variable, we put it that way. This one is fixed, we put it this way. This one variable, we put it this way. We add all the fixed costs that comes under total fixed cost, TFC. Then we add all the variable costs that comes under TVC. Okay, now from TFC, we calculate AVC, average variable cost. That is cost per unit. AVC, average variable cost, or we call that unit cost. Cost per unit, unit cost, average variable cost, or if you are dealing with variable cost, okay? So the next column is AVC, average variable cost. You'll have to calculate that for me. When output is 1, what's average variable cost? When output is 2, that's what I mean. You have to fill the gap. Then ATC, average total cost. You calculate that for me. Then marginal cost, you calculate that for me, and you fill in the gap. Then I'm going to give you the second set of things. Now, in the second set, we need 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, column number 1, you write output or Q per day, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on that column. So you can see this output here, what you are writing now, and what you had before, the same. So that means it is the same firm that is looking at aspects of production, 1, from the cost point of view, then 2, from the revenue point of view. So what you are doing now would be under revenue outlook or revenue point of view. So output or Q or sales per day is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we have average revenue. Average revenue, that's the second column. Average revenue. Against 1, we have 42.00, 42.00. Following that, we have 37.00. Then we have 32.00. We have 27.00. We have 17.00. We have 7.00, and we have 2.00. I take that again. 42.00 when output is 1 or when sales. Because we said, as a firm in business, you produce to sell. So whether you're looking at output from the point of your production, Q from the point of view of production, or looking at output from the point of your sales, it's the same thing. But you don't count an item of good sold when it is not yet sold, whether it's in business or in economics. Once a good is not sold, it's not sold. But the point is, we want the good to be sold. Is our prayer. Okay? So we have 42.00, 37.00, 32.00, 27.00, 22.00, 17.00, 12.00, 7.00, 2.00. Now, the next column would be marginal revenue. Go back to the formula for marginal revenue. The formula for marginal cost and the formula for marginal revenue are the same. The only difference is when you are dealing with marginal costs are involved. When you are meaning marginal revenue is involved. Okay? Then you write profit. Again, I take this output or Q, then you have column, then you have average revenue column, then you have marginal revenue column, and then you have profit column. So here you are going to find marginal revenue for me, and you are going to find profit for me. Now, how are you going to do it? You are going to draw, excuse me, you are going to draw TFC. Well, TFC it will not be. Now, what I advise you to do is this. The first set of data I gave you, plot it separately. Now, you plot TFC, total fixed cost, against Q. You have a vertical line, TFC, then a horizontal line, the two of them meeting at the origin, horizontal line, call that Q. So you plot TFC against Q. Then you plot TVC against Q. Just a very small, we call that framework, a very small diagram. TFC against Q, TVC against Q, AVC against Q, ATC against Q, MC against Q. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 small diagrams. Then the next set of information I gave you or data I gave you, you plot average revenue, that is AR against Q, then MR against Q, then profit against Q. Then, but before you, okay, profit against Q, you may not have gotten profit before then. Because now, I hope I'm clear. It's just for you to see what these curves look like when they're alone. When they're alone on a graph. Very, very important. When you do them this way, you will not need to memorize them. You just automatically remember. So TFC against Q, TVC against Q, AVC against Q, ATC against Q, then MC against Q. Then you go come average revenue AR against Q, MR against Q, then later on profit against Q. Profit will come later because you can't figure out profit now except you finished doing okay, you can get it if you are smart. I don't want to give you details. Okay, profit against Q. Then now, the second set of diagrams would be the first set is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 small diagrams. Then the second set of diagrams would be TVC, AVC, ATC, MC all together against Q. Then the next one will be AR, MR against Q. Then you would figure out where to enter profit. I'll not tell you how to do that. Just use your common sense and tell me, because I'll ask you, where does Q come in? How do you figure out Q? If you remember what we did last time, fine. If you don't remember what we did last time, then when I come up, I'll do that. So I'm giving you 20 minutes. Just behave as if you were doing an exam. Do it yourself. If you can't do it yourself, or when you are given a problem tomorrow, will not be hard to do. So I give you 20 minutes. I'm not out. 20 minutes. I'll come back to discuss this with you. All right. So I'm
I have a
here.
question. I have a question, sir.
Yes. What's the question?
Sir, after you said you
Go
should
ahead.
plot the individual columns against the output, I did not hear the remaining ones that you said you should plot after the individual columns against output.
Now, have you written the first set of columns?
Yes, sir.
You've written them down.
Yes, sir.
Now, the second set of columns, you've written them down.
Yes, sir.
You know, that is average revenue, marginal revenue, profit. You've written that down.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Okay. Now, what I said you should do is 1, draw total fixed cost against Q. Total fixed cost will be on the y-axis, like we say in mathematics, while output will be on the x-axis. Okay? The
Yes,
two
sir.
will meet at the origin. So you plot TFC against Q. Then on a different diagram, don't use too much space. On a different diagram, you plot TVC against Q. On a different diagram, you plot AVC against Q. On a different diagram, you plot ATC against Q. On a different diagram, you plot MC against Q. Now that's a set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diagrams are expected. Now these 5 diagrams in the factory, in the firm, that's in the production line. You did not allow us to discuss production, so we are going to discuss production. You are going to read it on your own. You're going to read it yourself. Okay? So if you are done production, when people are in the factory and they're working, now they give us records. From these records, we keep them, and then we draw graphs, and then we analyze them as economists. Now, total fixed cost will be given to you by an accountant or an accounts clerk in the factory. Total variable cost will be given to you by the accountant, either another accountant or the same accountant, or accounts clerk or bookkeeper, whatever they call them, in the factory. Then they may do average variable cost or whatever, or they'll give you these 3, 1, 2, 3, the first 3 columns. Then you, the economist, will sit down and draw your AVC, ATC, MC. The accountant may do it. That's why you are doing it now. Or the accountant may pass it to the economist to do. Now, the next set of columns are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have output or Q. You have AR, average revenue. You have MR, marginal revenue. You have profit. Now, this second set of columns comes from the market. Once you've sold your product, these are the figures that you've recorded. Okay? So now what will happen is this. We'll analyze what happens in the firm. We'll plot those graphs. They have to do with costs and output. Then what happens at the marketplace will have to do with revenue and output. We've taken some quantities to market. We have sold them. This is the report. So now, This may be the salespeople or whatever. So now we, the economists, will put side by side. First of all, we'll plot what happens in the factory, different graphs. Then we'll plot what happens at the marketplace, different graphs. Then now, because it is the same firm, one hand, the other leg is in the factory, we'll superimpose the diagrams gotten from the first set of columns onto the diagrams gotten from the second set of columns. And then from there, if we want the graphical representation of profits, we do. If we want to calculate profit graphically, we do it. But here we'll be able to compute profits algebraically. So once you fill the first set of columns, you fill the second set of columns, you must be able to, using your common sense, to find profit without plotting. Just look at the diagrams, go back to your notes, or remember, you'll have your profit. So once you do that, you may want to find out where is profit maximized. Okay, you look at profit. When output is 1, the profit is this. When output is 2, the profit is 1. Okay, when you look at it, where is profit maximized? You see it there. Now, then go back to your diagrams and then find out whether what they told you theoretically agrees with what you have seen here as you have plotted your diagrams. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I expect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diagrams from the first set of columns, 1, 2, 3 diagrams from the second set of columns. That will make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you would superimpose. That means you would draw another set. This will be 1 now. Another diagram that'll have to do with TVC, AVC, ATC, MC, AR, MR, and then profit. So the first set will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate diagrams. The second set will give you 1, 2, 3 separate diagrams. Then the last diagram will have to have TFC, not TFC. We don't need TFC there. We have TVC, AVC, ATC, MC, AR, and then MR. Look at where it is. If you can't find it, when I come back in 20 minutes time, I'll tell you where it should be on your diagram. Of course, you must have calculated. If you make mistakes in your calculations, your diagrams will not be representative. So I'll give you 20 minutes. So when it's 9:30, I'll come up. That's 21 minutes. I want you to do that. Take all your time to do that. That'll help you. If you don't do that now, you will have problems in future. Make no mistake. And
Sir,
the theory
please.
of markets, yes.
Sir,
Yes,
you
somebody
mentioned
was.
I not get the average revenue number, sir. But I got the remaining one, the average revenue.
Now, average revenue
Yes, sir.
when output is 1, average revenue is 42.
42.
42.00. Next to that, 37.00. Next to
No, you are not paid to me. I am.
the first one is 42.00. The next one is 37.00. The next one is 32.00. The next one is 27.00. The next one is 22.00. The
Yes,
next
sir.
one is 17.00. The next one is 12.00. The next one is 7.00. The next one is 2.
Yeah. All right, sir.
So
Thank you, sir.
9:30, I'm answering off. When it's 9:30, I'll come and I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here with you guys. Okay. I'm in my office anyway. So when it's 9:30, I'm coming up. Then we'll discuss our results. So you see what you are being taught theoretically. And then this is practice. You see what the shapes look like. Okay. And then we'll discuss. You do it well, it's going to be well with you. If you don't do it well, you'll have to come back to do it, to learn it. Knowledge is what you are supposed to acquire. If you escape it today, you'll come back to it tomorrow. That's one thing about knowledge. Okay, we have 6 minutes left. Okay. Now we are 9:30. We have to come back to our discussion now. Now, please listen very attentively. We start with the first set of columns. ABC. What do you have when ABC is 1? When output, and tell me.
20.25.
Sorry, 20.25. Yes. So when output is 2,
16.5.
16.5.
3.3.
read.
41.2.
Sorry. When output
16.5.
is 2, what's
41.25.
ABC? Sorry? 6. And this,
16.15.
huh?
What's the question? 16.5.
16.5.
Yes,
Yeah.
16.5 is right. If you make mistakes in this, your curves will be wrong. Your curves will be totally something different. Okay? When output is 3,
18.75.
13.75.
when output is 4, when output
12.
is 4,
12.00.
okay, when output is 5,
11.25.
11.25.
when Q is 5,
11.25.
okay, when it's 6,
11.5.
yes, when it's 6, no. When Q is 6,
12.25.
12.75.
okay, how did you
12.75.
get it? How did you get 11.5?
69
How did
divided
you
by
get 11.5? How did you
69
get,
divided by
how do you
7.
obtain
69
ABC?
divided by
Total
69
variable
divided by,
cost divided by
total
output.
variable cost divided by output.
Output. That's the problem of this.
The man is muted though.
sorry. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Now, to
yeah.
find ABC, ABC is TVC over Q. TVC over Q will give you ABC.
Okay.
Now, yes, that's total variable cost. Okay. Now, ATC is found. First of all, how did you find total cost? How have you found it?
We
total
added
cost
TFC
over
plus TVC
quantity.
to get the total
TFC
cost.
plus TVC.
Okay, that's good.
Cost plus total
Okay.
variable cost.
Then we divided output to get our average total cost.
Okay, that's right. Now to find average total cost, you must have total cost. Total cost was not given to us, total variable cost. So TC equals TFC plus TVC. So you're supposed to have had total cost to find total average total cost. So TFT plus TVC divided by Q will give you ATC. It is always good to have all the columns written clearly so that the examiner will know you know what you are doing. Even if you made a mistake, it will be sympathetic. Okay. So you have to create a column for total cost. And
Yes.
total cost will be TFC plus TVC. Okay. Divided by Q will give you this. Marginal cost.
I think I'll make a mistake.
How did you find marginal cost?
Change in
Change in total cost
total
divided by
cost divided by change in output.
Okay. Now you'll give me total cost again. Okay. When Q is 1, what's TC?
120.25.
120.25.
120.25. When Q is 2, what's TC?
133.00.
1?
33.0.
133.00. When Q is 3, what's TC?
141.25.
141.25. How did you get 141.25? How did you get it?
Hello,
by
sir.
adding
Hello?
total fixed cost.
We added TFC plus
I want-
TVC to get the TC
No.
total cost.
You say we added TFC 2, not plus. We added TFC to TVC. Okay? You added
Okay, sir.
TFC to 2VC to obtain TC at every output level. That's what we say in economics. When Q is 1, when Q is 2, when Q is 3. When Q is 1, that's an output level. When Q is 2, that's an output level. When Q is 9, that's an output level. Every output level, you add TFC to TVC to say it many times so that you will have it fixated in your mind. So if you add TVC to TFC, you have TC at every point. Now, if I want MC, will I have a figure when output level is 1?
No.
Will there be any
No.
figure there?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now when Q, so you have a dash there.
Yes.
Then when output is 2, when we say change in TC, that means TC2 minus TC1 all over change in output. Here, Q2, yes, that is Q2 minus Q1, okay? So you do that throughout, you have MC. So we'll have what we call, anyway, let me not bother you. We'll have, how many figures do we have under MC now? Marginal cost. How many figures do we have?
8.
Count them.
8.
8.
8,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, we have lost 1. We call that 1 degree of freedom. We have lost 1 degree of freedom. We see that in statistics later. All right, so we have 8 figures now, while in all others, we have 9. You have to remember that. So now you go to the next table. How do we obtain marginal revenue?
Change
What's the
in
formula
total
for marginal
revenue
revenue?
minus output. Change in output. You
You
didn't give out total
No,
revenue,
it's
so we have.
not minus. Change in total revenue divided by
Change in output.
change in output.
Mm.
See? Marginal revenue is change in, listen, marginal revenue is change in total revenue. Change in total revenue. Were you given total revenue?
No, sir.
Hello?
No, sir.
Were
No, sir.
you given total revenue?
No,
No,
sir.
no, sir.
No,
So
sir.
that means you have to create a column for total revenue.
Yes, sir.
You have to find it for every output level. You have to remember your formulas, and you have to know how to apply them. What you are not given, you have to create. I'm not saying you have to imagine. Given the information you have to navigate through that information to obtain what you need to solve your problem. So here, you are not given total revenue. How do you obtain total revenue when output level is 1? How do you do it? How do you
By
calculate it?
multiplying our AR with our
We
output.
multiply average revenue to output.
Output per day.
By for every output level. Okay? For every output level, you multiply average revenue by output. AR times Q for every output level. That is from 1 to when Q is 1, when Q is 2, when Q is 3, when Q is 9. So please do that if you didn't do that. None of you did that?
We did it, sir.
We did it,
We
sir.
did it, sir.
You did it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you did it, that's very good. That was a trap for people who just blindly. Okay, so you have TR2 minus TR1 over Q2 minus Q1 for every output level, minus the first one, of course. So marginal revenue, when output is 1, we don't know it, so you have a dash.
Yes.
Then you find the remaining 8. So we have what we call a loss on degree of freedom. Okay, so now that we have this, now who can tell me, please, somebody who thinks he has done it well, read. Now, first of all, tell me where profit is maximized. Just by reading just read your tables if you've done them well. Tell me where output is maximized and tell me why you think output is maximized at that output. Sorry, where profit is maximized. And tell me, why do you think profit should be maximized at that level? Justify your answer. I'm waiting. Hello, I'm waiting. You've done this thing? Or are you doing them now? I'm waiting for you. Calculate profit.
So profit is maximized at 4.
At every output level. At what?
4.
What's maximum profit? What's maximum profit? Tell me the number. Sorry? 4?
60.00. Yes, sir.
60.00. Okay. 60.00. Either naira or dollars or whatever.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, profit is maximized. Profit is 60. Is that the highest number there?
Yes,
If
sir.
you
That's
look
the
at the
highest
profit
number.
column, is 60
Yes,
the
sir.
highest? Okay. If that's the highest number, then that's maximum profit. And this occurs when output equals what?
4.
When output equals 4. Now, go to your marginal cost and tell me your marginal cost when output equals 4. What you have calculated. When output equals 4, what's your marginal cost?
6.75.
6.75. Now, what's your marginal revenue?
Yes. 14.
12
No.
point,
12.
12.0.
12. It's 12.
12, sir.
Your marginal revenue is what?
12, sir.
Oh,
When Q equals 4, marginal revenue is 12.
Yes.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When Q equals 4, marginal cost is what?
6.75.
6.75.
That's not correct.
Oh.
What does theory tell you?
When
That
our MR
profit
is
is
equal to
maximized
MC.
when what?
MR equal to MC.
Then in your calculations, do you see MI equals MC?
No, sir.
Then you have made a mistake. Because
Okay, sir. I'll correct it, sir.
this does not agree with theory. So you've made a mistake. And that's why you have to be very careful when you're calculating these things. MC
Sir.
equals MR for profit to be maximized. MC equals MR in all the markets, whether it is monopoly, whether it's oligopoly, or whether it's monopolistic competition or perfect competition. MC must be equal to MR for profit to be maximized. If you've drawn the last diagram, you should find it there. You should find it there. Okay? You should find it there. Yeah, no, the danger is we're not physically interacting. You'll see it is easier when it's because, well, it has to do with a lot of planning and this and that, explaining online.
Excuse me, sir.
But when it's
Sir.
offline,
Excuse me, sir.
when it's offline, it's easy. So for maximum profit here, then find out.
Excuse me, sir.
Sorry? Yes.
Sir, I don't have a profit here. My total cost is greater than my total revenue. So I don't have a profit.
You don't have a profit?
Yes, my total cost
You
is
should have
greater than my
profit.
total revenue.
Is greater than the total revenue. All the values, the
Now,
total revenue
see.
All
cost.
the values, it is a
Value.
loss. I don't have a profit.
Now, see, in economics, profit is divided into two. You have what we call positive profit, and you have what we call negative profit. Negative profit, what we call negative profit in economics. Economics, we always make a profit. Either maybe positive, maybe zero, or maybe negative. When you have zero profit, you are broken even. When you have negative profit, you've made a loss. When you have positive profit, you've made a profit. So that's the way we look at it in economics. So in economics, we always make a profit, but the profit may be zero. Profit may be positive. Profit may be negative. So when total revenue is greater than total cost, you make what we call positive business admin or management, okay?
Negative profit.
When total revenue equals total cost, or total revenue minus total cost equals zero, you have broken even. That is management language. In economics, we say you've made zero profit. You've made zero profit. When total revenue is less than total cost. That means total revenue minus total cost is negative. You've made a negative profit. That's economic language. In real life language or in management, whatever, you've made a loss. When TR is greater than TC, you made a profit. That is ordinary language. In economics, you've made a positive profit. When TR equals TC, you've made zero profit. That's economics. In real life language, you have broken even. In English, you've broken even. When TR is less than TC, in economics, you've made a negative profit. In real English language or real life, you say you've made a loss. So in economics, you always make a profit. And that's why you have to be very careful as to calculate profit. Okay? Because it may be a loss in real life. Or maybe broken, the firm may have broken. So if TC is higher than TR through and through, and that's the other, one may be by the side of the other, you just compare. If at every output level, TR is greater than TC, we love it. You make positive profit in economics, as we say in economics. Now, if you look at TR and look at TC and you look at breaking even, and that's why you plot. Once you plot, you have a better idea than when you are looking at figures. Okay? The plots must be represented as good plots or good diagrams. Okay? So now, but the point is this, that if the firm is making a loss, like we say in English, then things must happen. Things must happen. Management will sit down and say, look, we can't allow this to continue. We have to do something. Maybe you have to cut costs, or maybe you have to be more careful, or maybe you have to raise price again. Can we raise price? That's a question. Can we cut cost? Because it's never good to raise cost, always cutting cost. Can we cut cost? Those are the two things we look out for. If, in fact, at times, you want to ask, can we raise output or can we reduce output? Okay? Can I raise Q? Can I increase Q? Or can I reduce Q? 2, can I reduce costs? Total cost. When you look at total cost, is divided into 2. No, is the fixed cost too high? Then that means the cost of land is too high. Cost of rent is too high. So let me meet the landlord. Look, this place is nice, but the cost is too high. You can argue with the landlord or haggle with the landlord and then bring down total fixed cost. Total variable cost, are there wastes in the system? Are people misusing things? Are people stealing things? So we want to figure out that, and then we want to plug all the loopholes. If you didn't have any, what do you call that now? Any guard, any gate man, you have to employ a gate man. If you suspect that stealing your materials, that falls under variable cost. We employ a gate man, and then when anybody is getting out of the factory, they check him, and so on and so forth. So these are things that are practical, which you have to know about. It's not just MC equals this one. You don't know what it is. You don't know what to do when costs are not good, when price. Now, let's go to price. Is price not good? Well, can we raise price? You cannot just say yes. You can't say no. You have to know the type of market you are in. If it's a monopoly, you can raise price. You can. there may be consequences, but you can raise price. If it is an oligopoly, if you raise price, will the others follow? We are not there yet, and we are just introducing these things to you. By the time you get to 200 level, we'll add some things, you know. So if you raise price in an oligopoly, will the others follow you? If they don't follow you, you're on your own, because most of your customers, like we call them in English, most of those buying from you, consumers or demanders, will go to others. And then your sales will drop drastically, okay? And then you find yourself in big trouble if you are not too good. Now, if you are in a monopolistic competitive market, well, you may not. But if you're in a perfectly competitive environment, you cannot, it does not allow that, it doesn't tolerate that. If you add 1 kobo to the price at the marketplace, everybody knows it's less somewhere else, and nobody will buy from you because consumers are rational. Consumers think, and they want to buy where it is given quality, where it is cheap. Okay? So these are the reasons why we plot all these graphs and we make analyses, and then companies come up with policies. That means they take decisions and say, okay, from tomorrow, we'll do this. From tomorrow, anybody leaving these premises will be searched. Please, whether a man or woman, don't get angry. If you are searched, you have to be searched as company policy. Now, nobody will tell you the reason for employing a security staff is that company suspects that people are stealing their products, okay? Which makes average variable cost or total variable cost high, generally, and especially if you compare that with other firms, okay? So is that interesting? Do you find it interesting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's not just plotting
Yes, sir.
graphs and reading this and reading that. No, these things are extremely important because you are going to apply them tomorrow. You are going to apply them. You know, it's just that we don't have enough time, maybe to explain, to go too deep, to explain to you. Now, is it that when costs are too high, it may be that your technique of production is not the best. Your technique, that is, you have a number of machines and you have a number of labor, that is people working, but the combination is not right. Or it may be that the people employed to operate a particular machine don't understand it yet. So the costs are high. So there are so many reasons. Once costs are high, we want to find out what the problem is. And there may be 1,000,001 reasons. So we check this one just like somebody goes to hospital, is sick, the doctor will look out for this, look out for this, look out for this. So that's what we do in economics. Is it that the production technique is faulty? Or what's the problem? Is it that people are not well trained? Or is that the machine is too advanced? Can we buy a simpler machine so they can understand it? Or is it that, you know, the materials we're buying are not too good, so we have a lot of defects? Well, there's so many reasons. So we check them one by one to reduce cost. Can we raise price? Can you raise quantity? Again, that's why you need to understand there's options in of every market. Raise quantity when you are operating in a perfectly competitive environment, there's no problem. Whatever it takes to market will be sold. But can you raise quantity in another setting? If you did, how will that affect price? Again, you have to take the price at the marketplace. If you cannot take it, can you make it? You can't make a price, that is, you cannot dictate the price. That's what we call making a price or setting the price. You cannot set a price or make a price in every market. You can't. And you cannot set the price even in monopoly. If you set the price, you cannot set the quantity. In other words, you cannot increase quantity and increase price at the same time. It's not possible. One will be. If you increase price, then you take the quantity. If you increase quantity, then you take the price. Because these things are explained. If we're in a class, I'll show you the diagrams and I'll show you why this, why not this, why that, why not that. Okay? So again, go and read the assumptions of theory of market. If you understand theory of market, it's one of the difficult topics in economics, in industrial economics. So when you talk about market, you talk about production, that's industry. So industrial economics has to do with production and whatever. So that's one of the difficult topics in economics. So if you understand it now, you give yourself a lot of advantage, a lot. If you don't understand it now, make sure you understand it even after exams, because you're coming across it next year. For you reading economics or reading EDS, that's your life. You'll come across it throughout your life. So that's the one thing. So you can see with a simple example like this, so many things throw themselves up and then we pick them. So always be very careful. They give you something blindly. You really have to take time to what don't I have? Do I have it? Can I calculate it? If I cannot calculate it, what else can I do? If it's not there, you raise up your hand. Excuse me, sir. It looks like there's something missing here. Okay, during an exam or a test or in class, and you always figure out, what you can do, what you cannot do, etc. All right. So the last question, please. If you have a question, and that should be the last one, please ask. Please, if you have a question, can you ask your question now? That should be the last question. Yes. Hello. Does anybody have a question to
Good
ask?
morning, sir. Listen.
Yes, good morning.
I have a question, sir. Since
What's
all the
question?
profits were negative, so am I
Since
going
all
to choose the
profits
smallest one as the negatives?
Since all the profits
My
are
lowest,
negative.
yes, I
No.
got negative profits.
Okay. Now that is
So
where is
the
profit
output,
maximized?
and it's at
Okay, that's a
output
good
4.
question. Okay, wait. Now,
That's what I want to ask.
since all the figures are negative under profit, and we say we are making a negative economics. In English, we are saying you are making a loss or losses. Now, we want the smallest quantity of loss. Let me put it that way. The smallest quantity of loss or the smallest loss. So if I say, where is profit maximized? You'll pick out of all the figures, the smallest figure. If it is, I don't know what it is now because I've not calculated it. Look through your figures. There must be 8 figures. Look for the smallest one. If you had a number line, you have 0, then you have -1 going to the left now. -1, -2, -3. Of course, -10 is too high. -1 is closer to 0. 0 is breaking even. -1 is making a loss. So -1 is close to 0. So you choose the number which is negative, which is closest to 0, as close to 0 as possible. If 0 is breaking even, 1 plus 2 is making positive profit, or what we call profit. 0 breaking even, no profit, no loss. from -1, from once you leave 0 and you're moving to the left, that is a loss. Take the smallest number. If you have -0.5 and you have -1, take -0.5 because it's closer to 0 than -1. That -0.5 may be in billions of naira. So when you see -0.5, don't take it for granted. It could be $500 million. It could be $500 billion. It could be $1,000. So you don't take -0.5 for something small. It depends on what we are dealing with, whether thousands or millions or billions or whatever. Okay, I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. So the smallest loss is the best. That's where profit is maximized. But again, in this sense, profit in economics. Profit in economics. In general language, we say you made a loss. Now, if you are saying you made a loss, we'll not say a loss of -0.5. No, that minus tells you've made a loss. So when you are talking about loss, it should be made a loss of 0.5 unit. That is 0.5, either billion or trillion or whatever. Made a loss of 0.5. Or you made a profit of a maximum profit of minus 0.5. You made a loss of 0.5. You made a maximum profit of minus 0.5. So don't confuse them. If you say you made a loss of minus 0.5, that means you've made a profit, like we say in English. Okay? All right, so all the best. Good luck. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Sir, please, can I still ask a question?
Okay, that will be the last, the very last now, the very last.
So, sir, I want to confirm this. You were saying that if that if a profit is maximized is when is a negative, then if it is
when is
like
what?
a loss, when
Hello?
it is like when profit is maximized. Sir, you hear me? Hello, sir.
Yes,
Sir.
can hear you. I can hear you.
Sir,
I hear you.
Yes. When a profit is maximized, is a negative sign that will be attached to the number. Then when it's lost, it will be just a...
No, that's not what I said. Hello? That's not
sir,
what I said.
Okay, sir, I just want to confirm.
That's
I know you did get it.
But that's not what I said.
Okay, sir.
The issue is this. In this example, we have run at a loss. This firm operating in these conditions is operating at a loss. From beginning to the end, we have negative numbers.
Yes, sir.
Those negative numbers will tell you the firm is making what we call in economics negative profit.
Profit, yes, sir.
Under normal circumstances, this profit must be plus. But things don't always work out like that. Profit may be positive, profit may be zero, profit may be negative in economics. When profit is negative, the company or the firm is making a loss or operating at a loss. Yes. When profit is equal to zero, even. When profit is positive, the company or the firm is making profit. Okay, so now, yes, when the firm is making negative, the firm to maximize profit. So when profits are negative, you look for the smallest number under negative profit. That is the smallest loss.
Yes.
That's where the firm is maximizing profit or minimizing loss. That's what I said.
All right, sir.
Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
so
sir.
see more of you. This is the last lecture for this course. Okay. So go and read for exams. Remember the assumptions in every market. Concentrate on monopoly, oligopoly, monopolistic competition, perfect competition. Those assumptions tell you what you can do at the marketplace and what you cannot do. Very important. Okay. Then I have to learn production theory. You didn't allow me to teach you. So you people have to go and learn it yourselves. And then it's very easy. Economics is applicable. It's something you see every day, but it's something maybe we don't we don't pay attention to. Of course, an economist must pay more attention to economics than anybody else, okay? So I agree, not everybody is an economist. But the point is, these things we are discussing in class are things that happen every day, either on the farm or in the factory or in the hospital or wherever, in the marketplace, whatever, okay? So good luck. Your exam will be very simple, of course, for those who have been attending classes and have been practicing. Practice these curves, plot them, play with them, particularly for those who are continuing with economics. That'll give you a lot of advantage, okay? All right, thank you very much, see more of you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.